Well, I'm here with my mate Chris. We're in Albury on the road, and Chris has joined the journey of the pilgrimage that we're making eventually from Sydney all the way out to Alice Springs. And he caught the fire. And he caught
I did catch the fire. Yeah.
And Chris is a friend of mine from a long way back, who has been involved in making documentaries. So this is in your field.
It is. Yep.
And I sent him off to Sydney last week to look around, to follow the story. One story we're tracking, the story of Thomas More. And as fate would have it, this church behind it, we discovered, was designed by Edmund Blackett.
Yes.
Way back in 1850.
Yeah.
Who also designed the church and the house that Thomas More had in Sydney.
Yes. And the memorial chapel that he has at Badalla.
Yeah.
And Christchurch St Lawrence on the corner of George and Pitt Street in Sydney, which I discovered last week.
So here we are. We're on the threshold of history, sort of following us in a way, which is the fun thing that happens with pilgrimage. Like I've just been reading in my book, Tell Me Another, the chapter I wrote on pilgrimage. But when you step out on pilgrimage, it's a gesture. You're making a move away from what you know into something unknown. You've stepped away from what you know, I suppose, of Australia or Sydney, into a new story. What's happening for you?
I'm finding a reigniting of my love for using images to tell stories and going back into documentary film. Because while I was out of the country and for 18 years, I did nearly 300 films. 5 of them were documentaries and the rest were more commercial to pay the rent. But it taught me a lot about the enjoyment of getting people's stories accurate, not hyped, not built up as something bigger than Ben-Hur, but just what they are, because it communicates. When the integrity of a story comes through in what people are saying, people watching get it. They get that that's true. That's one of the ways we can be confident about the information we get.
I've discovered myself, Chris, as I've delved into the story more and more of Thomas More in Sydney in the mid-19th century, as an astonishing Christian man with a great story to tell. And you've touched on a couple of things. What stood out for you? Tell me one thing.
The special one is the statue in Macquarie Place. This guy was the equivalent of a billionaire in his era, and yet the men working for him passed the hat around to raise the money to erect a statue, which is a beautiful statue. It's not just some crummy thing that was put together with a little bit of money. It is a really remarkable statue, which you'll see when we put the film out there. But that really did grab me. Probably at the moment, that was the more significant thing. Why would working men who were struggling to actually, and he was trying to help them not struggle, why would they do that?
I would hazard a guess he's probably the only boss in Australia who's had his men take up a collection and put up a statue for him.
Yeah.
Which is one of the twists in this story that just keeps on giving, and I think we're going to unearth a whole lot of other things. He also loved beautiful things, beautiful buildings, not just industry. He was heavily involved in industry and some remarkable things. But he's a Christian man who had a vision beyond just making money, beyond just building his own empire, beyond even building the British Empire.
Yes.
To looking to God's kingdom.
Yes. I did come across a school at Christchurch St Lawrence in the hall built at the back, which he built with his money, which was told to me by the current rector. And what I discovered is all these names on a board in the hall, all these young people that got scholarships that were paid for out of a fund he'd established.
They were poor, as the poor people?
Yes, they were people that needed a scholarship in order to be educated. And that lasted until 1929, and we're talking from somewhere around 1850, where the parish school was established. So that's a long run in that school that he bequeathed, because he was gone in, I think it was 1878 that he died.
Yeah, something like that.
It's close to that, if it's not that. So long after he's gone, he's been supporting these students.
So this story we're going to tell, Chris, it's going to pick up many facets of just this one story, but there are many stories like this we're going to unpack as we travel from Kurnell way out to Alice Springs.
Yes.
It's going to be quite an adventure. It's a wild ride.
Yes.
But there's just this one thing that we're looking at for the moment. It's remarkable, isn't it?
It is. I've seen him like this huge tree that got planted in Sydney, coming out from England, and he spread these massive branches out that have upheld and uplifted the colony in a way I had no idea of.
Yeah, Christian man with a heart for the people.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Next week we'll be in Sydney filming.
Yeah,
and,
we make our start.
make a start. So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to the adventure. So I
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
you can join us.
Mm.